The laughter at the party thundered around me, loud enough to drown out my thoughts but not the gnawing sting of shame. I stood there with a fragile glass of water in hand, forcing a smile as my daughter-in-law, Emily, regaled the guests with one of her stories. "And then he pressed the wrong button and turned off the TV instead of the fan," she said, clutching her wine glass and laughing. "Bless him, he's still figuring out technology." Everyone laughed. Everyone but me. My son, Daniel, chuckled along with the rest. The joke was on me. I forced my smile to hold, glancing down at the floor. Maybe it would have been bearable if it had been a single jab, but Emily had been delivering them all night, tiny cutting remarks aimed at making me look foolish. "He forgets things sometimes," she said casually at one point. "He's not used to modern life," she added later. To the world, I was the outdated, bumbling old man in their house. What they didn't know was this: the house was mine. My name is Edward Miller. I'm 71, retired from teaching, and a widower for 10 years. After my wife passed, I sold our small home and moved in with Daniel and Emily. Daniel insisted it would be easier for me. "Dad, don't live alone," he'd said. "We'll make sure you're comfortable." I believed him. I even used the money from selling my house to help build theirs, putting it under my name to gift to them later. I thought that's what a good father did. But lately I felt less like family and more like a guest who had overstayed his welcome. Emily would sigh whenever I asked for help with my phone. She rearranged furniture without asking and told me not to touch anything. Once she said, "This house would look so much better without all this old furniture." She meant mine. I stayed silent because Daniel seemed happy, and I didn't want to cause a scene. But that night at the party, something inside me cracked. When the guests left, I sat in the corner, staring at the dim garden lights. Emily floated in, still dazzling in red, holding her wine glass. "Oh, Dad," she said with a laugh, "don't take it personally." "All right," I murmured. "I was just joking," she added. "About me?" I asked softly. She rolled her eyes. Everyone laughed. "It's harmless." I said nothing. She sighed. "You really need to lighten up. Daniel and I just need a little more space. Maybe visit your brother for a while, it'll be good for everyone." Her words cut sharper than any joke. She left before I could respond. That night I couldn't sleep. Surrounded by photographs of a past life, my late wife smiling, Daniel as a boy, our first family trip, I remembered her words, "Don't let anyone make you feel small in your own home, Edward." It hit me then. This wasn't their home. It was mine. And it was time they remembered that. The next morning I woke before sunrise, brewed myself a cup of tea, and watched the world light up through the kitchen window. Then I called my lawyer, Mr. Collins. "Edward," he greeted warmly. "It's been a while. I need to sell my house," I said calmly. "Your house?" he asked, surprised. "Yes. The one on Willow Lane." There was a pause. "Are you sure, Edward? That's where your son lives." "I'm sure," I replied. 3 weeks later the sale was finalized. I hadn't told Daniel or Emily. I wanted to see how long it would take them to notice. Too long, it seemed. They were too busy with vacations and distractions to care. Then one afternoon the real estate agent arrived with the new owners. I made sure Daniel and Emily were home. Emily answered the door, confusion etched on her face. "Can I help you?" The agent smiled politely. "We're here to inspect the property before moving in." Emily's frown deepened. "This must be a mistake. This is our house." The agent looked at me. "Mr. Miller, is this your son and daughter-in-law?" "Yes," I said, calm but firm. "And this used to be my house. But I sold it." Emily went pale. You sold it?" Daniel stepped forward, stunned. "Dad, what are you talking about? You can't." "I can," I said quietly. "It was under my name. I bought it. I paid for it. You never even checked the papers." Emily gasped. Daniel was speechless. "You can stay for 2 more weeks," I said. "After that, the new owners move in." Emily's eyes burned with fury. "This is insane. You can't do this to your own son." "No, Emily," I said, meeting her gaze. "You did this to yourself." That evening, I packed a small bag and left before dawn. I moved into a cozy seaside cottage, calm, sunny, and full of friendly faces who greeted me with warmth rather than judgment. Daniel called a few times. I answered once. "Dad, I'm sorry," he said, voice trembling. "Respect isn't demanded, son. It's earned. You let her treat me like a burden in my own home." "I know," he whispered. "I'll make it right." "I hope you do, for your sake, not mine." Months passed. I learned they rented a small apartment across town. Emily stopped speaking to me altogether, which didn't bother me. Now, sometimes I sit on my porch watching the ocean roll in, thinking of that night at the party, the laughter, the humiliation, and I smile. That was the night I stopped being silent. That was the night I remembered my worth. And that was the night Emily lost the house I built with my own hands. Kindness isn't weakness. Silence isn't surrender. And patience can be the quietest, most devastating revenge.